Now, I would like to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom. I'd like to thank Torah Anytime, Kamashkacha Pratis, Kalaloshin, Rabbi Yosef Yafi, all the world. Look at this beautiful Spring Hill Times. Enjoy. What a Kiddush Hashem. Making people psychologically, it's so healthy. When you read happy things, it affects you. You don't know what's happening. When you see beautiful pictures and you read healthy, happy things, and you read about the Eibishter's beautiful Bria, it does something to you. It affects you. You don't chap. Things are happening. When you read about the latest sickness, that the average Orthodox woman is a bucky, and every kind of weird new sicknesses that just came up, they know about it. They know the latest tragedy, what could happen, they know it all. Now, they ask for it. It's not the fault of the whatever who puts this out. Who's this? I like it. Beautiful. Talking perspective, question, answer. Based on the teachings of Novandig. Look at this. The Novandigas, there's no suffix, they're doing great things in Yenevelt. I heard from other schools, they said Novandig is bigger than anybody. Why? Now you want to hear? The soldiers of Hashem and Panavajarav said they were murdered. I'm going to say another, I heard different, because they had Bezyenis. Did you hear that? Because they had, forget about the Milos and Akshaya. They were Shevet Levi, Novandig is fire. These were the Mil Hashem Elai was Novandig, there's no suffix. They're the neshamas of the cream of Klai, it's Pasha, they gave their lives away. Chashmanoim, Novandig is that oilam, without a suffix. Mordechai was a Novandig, there was no suffix. But it's interesting, of all the great milas of Novandig, I heard this from a Kelma, because they had Bezyenis. Unfortunately, that is lost. We're not getting Bezyenis for Novandig. They had Bezyenis. They were a little, they had shtick.
Gave themselves.
They didn't just, yeah. A friend of mine told me his father learned in Rodden, and one day he sees an Novandig on a train. Yeah, that's true. No, but if you're having Bezyenis, you have a Malyusa in the next world. If you're one of those, you're lucky. You're a Yid that spent his life with a Bezyenistic mode. You are lucky. Just the opposite. Not asking you to run after that. Don't run after it. You're not in the Madrega. Do not do that. But if it's happening, and it is happening, guess who gets the most Bezyenis? The leaders, the ones you have Kenna. I'm telling you. I know the score. All these Rosh Kedelim, Rosh Yeshivas, and all these Admirim, boy, did they get Bezyenis. You don't chap. The Welt looks at them like they're the guys who have covered, and I'm the Nebuch. You don't chap the matzah. That's Stam, Agav. But if you're a person that's your geidel in life is Bezyenis, which is all of us. Who doesn't have Bezyenis? Much as you try, thank you so much. Much as you try, you're going to get the Bezyenis. David says loves you. Get some good Bezyenis. All your problems in life is you're so trying to escape from Bezyenis. It's Bezyenis. Did they like it? Did I say the right thing? I went to that stuff. You're always having those issues. This is what I heard. The greatness of Novandig. I heard this from Astar, Kelma, Adam, Godel, Veneda. Novandig is sehr groß in jener Welt, weil sie gehat Bezyenis. Isn't that something? That's the Mila. The hand Bezyenis is it's unbelievable. People are so different. Now, I can't tell this. People call me up left and right. Abracha. Okay, he's not here. The brother. I have a Rosh Kedel who's a teenage kid. My Rosh Kedel, and I start him off young. By the way, Northeast Philadelphia has a Stella available. You can give me a call. Northeast Philly Director of Kedel. You want to do Kiruv? What's that? What's that? Get in touch. Get in touch. get in touch. If you want to get out and do something with Klal Yisrael, I recommend get out there. It's a beautiful olam over there, and there's a lot of kiruv and a lot of work to do. It's beautiful. Now, so what was I talking about? What a bracha. I'm getting phone calls left and right. Just a week ago, don't tell, the Rosh Yeshiva told me, the Manayal of this bacha, Mesivta Bacha, he has one of my kelim where you get $100 if you're a Yangamani pay. He's dealing with Bachrim, mainly $50 a month. He has his 20 Bachrim. I pay you $50 a month. If you're learning 15 minutes a day, Musa, once a week, it has to be Mazakir Sarab. I've been doing this. There must be 200-300 people doing this. They don't bother me, except there's 1 or 2 people still come to me for money. Suddenly, his Manal calls me up and he says, we have to break it to him. Maybe you should do the job. But his little brother was in a terrible accident and he's critical. And Hashem Yerachim, it's holding one of those. I say on the phone, Lahadam. Did you hear what I said? Lahadam. He's out of the woods. He's fine. Just right after it happened. And it's terrible. And Rosh Yeshiva says, well, Rosh Yeshiva, he's a Tyri and Gemana Tzaddik. He was nice and polite with me. He says, yeah, okay, but still, take the name down. Take the name down. I says, take the name down. Anyway, all right, I never got the name straight. Did you hear that? I never got the name straight. I want to make that official. I don't need the name. Hey, take care of him. You know what I'm talking about. Take care of him. I want this boy off to his brother's like a Taira Bacharol. He comes to the Vadim all the time. A week later, just like you said, the Manal bumped into me this morning and Kel Shimshon. Oh, I owe you an apology. I should have called you. It was Nisim Gloyim. It's over. Imagine what's going on now. I do a lot of people call me up. The preference is to get people to work. I get calls all the time. I'm working so hard on B'tachon. I wish I could. They wish and they wish and they hope and it's not happening. And it even gets worse. I think Hashem doesn't like me. I had someone sitting here. I think Hashem doesn't like me. Mendel, I'm considering suicide. That's happened. Oh. So some of them I work with. I calm them down. You're such a great person. We need you. I need you. Everyone knows. I heard nice things. Yeah, I'll lay it on thick. Sometimes that works. Sometimes you're talking to the wall. They already made up their mind. They are not moving. It's over. Life is not working for me. When those guys talk to me, I say, okay, I got a great idea. Now you take your pick. I have 2 roofs. Pick one. And take a jump. What's the problem? Or I have another nusach. And ask my wife, she'll bring it in. I have a 36 caliber or a shotgun. Which do you prefer? Let's knock it off. When I say that, somehow it works. It's the best thing to do because it makes them laugh. It calms them down. What do you want to do here? This is no good and that's no good and this and that. I'm not worth anything and nobody likes me and so you make a joke and it's about leichter and people learn how to laugh. Once you laugh, they see how ludicrous. What do you want to do? Life isn't good, so therefore what? It's wuss, so it's not good. So what? So it's not good. But this is but him and the aggravation. And did you know what happened? I just got a report and the teacher told me about my kid. Okay, so it's no good. So you have a rotten kid. So have a rotten kid. So what? I mean, male of us. I can't tell people, I'll be gesund. That's already too, Yeah, be gesund. Of course I'm gesund. Of course, come with me and to the chronic disease hospital. There's some new cases that just came in. There's some horrific stories. I'm not going to talk about them. It's not for me. Not my style to describe what the yeshurim, people go through in these hospitals, these chronic diseases. Ugh, there's no hope. They sit there and you're here and alive. It doesn't talk to anybody. When I tell them how lucky you are that you're healthy, they look at me like, oh, are you from Rabbi Miller? Oh, yeah. Well, it's not helping me. It doesn't do much. When you tell a guy, be gesund, of course you're gesund. Of course you're gesund. I'm going to tell you a vod. Now, you got a chumash over there. Bamidbar is nois. I'm going to tell you the real shot. What the machloek is. Now, look, I don't want to say, what was the burning issue? Moshe Rabbeinu vayichar Moshe ma'oid. Moshe was boiling angry. What happened to Moshe on a ma'oid? Because the last time they shepherded him, he didn't open his mouth. This time, he's storming. Al tefen al munchasam. Don't listen to them. Don't know. I want them all dead. I want to wipe you out for the foot. Moshe was not shaykh. This week's Pasha, Moshe lets him have it. With a fire, like those working on another. The same issue. Don't forget, there should be another side to you, In Novanik, they can slap a guy across the face in public because he wasn't shaving. He was shaving in the sphere. Rabbi Blach once did that. Rabbi Yalta was. There has to be another side to you, That's why So you look at me like, you're not really. An Elachiyid is like this, You're not the real Oizgab at the type. You're one of those, I don't know. You're supposed to be, so you don't chap that, David HaMelech. David HaMelech, somebody once shepherded with him. His name was Novel. And his wife said about him, Kishmai Kain Hu. Novel means disgusting. That was his name. He was in David. David was friendly with him. David was helping him around. David wasn't the official Melech yet, but he was already and he had a group of people. He was making himself useful. While he was running away for his life, he said, my life is helping people. He's right. Shaul wanted to skin him alive. He threw a spear at him. Shaul was a Saina. He had 10 Sainim, whatever, each horrific Sainim. They hated him like poison. But Shaul was worse than all of them. What Shaul did to him, he went into enemy territory. Shaul was like, it was Nardanoyis, the pachad from Shaul. He was running for his life. He didn't know what to do with himself. He ended up in Plishti country just to get away from Shaul. Makes no sense. It makes sense of what Shaul was doing to him. And while he's running away for his life, he's patrolling the whole countryside, make sure there's no wolves or robbers shepherding to protect Yidna and David HaMelech. David, that's, they know what he was, his heart, he cared for Klal Yisrael. I have to give, see? He was one of those that goes out for Klal Yisrael. I have to give. I met a Bnei Brak Yid just today. I says, oh, you're from, so right away I'm at the Kiruv. So you're not Kiruv as you sit in Bnei Brak. You learn Shifty about Kiruv. He says, what are you talking? He has 2 Adamins, one's in Afula, one went to Chveisvas in the south. They all go. He says, I went myself a few years. They're going all over. And everywhere, they say it everywhere. The guys who go are Gavaldi. They're so much happier. So they're going, plenty of care going on. Anyway, so I want to say like this. Of course, we need much more. Now I want to say the following. So David HaMelech asked Novel for a favor. He was saving him. Could I please have some food for my men? Novel was filthy rich. And Novel said, Mi ben Yishai, you're rebelling against the Melech. And he was his relative. David spoke. You ever see the Lashon Ba'amatam, Koilachoi, Rabbi Shim Vayachet? It's a Lashon David used. It's camaraderie. It's like, he spoke to him like Bincha. He spoke, your son David wants to, let's get together because they're related. He was an anicle of Kola ben Yefuna. this Novel Carmeli. He was Abigail's husband, and he was so geschmack with him, and he said, "Let's maybe you send some food down," because he was helping, he was saving his life. He was doing. And Novel, who's this Ben Yishai? I'll put him in his place. I'm not giving a penny, because I'll say he was a terrible miser. Novel was a shrekel who couldn't give a penny away. He was filthy rich, but no, I'm not giving nothing. So David got back the message. He told you, who's this Ben Yishai? Well, who's he? He's rebelling against Shaul. David said, aha, all right. Chevra, put your sword on right now, Chevra. There won't be a mashtin bekir alive tomorrow morning. He repeated that 3 times. I don't want to get involved in touching what happened there. He said it as a good. There won't be a mashtin bekir alive from that family. We'll wipe him out. 1, 2, 3. No, the cholash eloy, his wife, his kid, it's a done deal. He's dead. That's David HaMelech. If not for Abigail, who was one of the biggest Nashim Tzidkanias that ever lived, a Neviah. She came down from the hill. She got the message. She was very smart. She came down with camels loaded with food. She knew how to do it. Got to Legima, and she fell on the ground next to David, and she let him know, if you're going to kill my husband, you lost your Elam Haba. You're not a melech. You can't do that. You're still not a melech. Yeah, I know, Shmuel Hanavi, but Shaul is still the acting king. You can't do that. And she said it with such Hanavi. You got to see the psukim. She was so smart. And she won him over. And David, anyway, she said, by the way, Gemara says, don't be stupid, You have him in the bag, chaparang. She gave a zog like, don't forget me. Because she had Ruach HaKodesh. And in 10 days, when Novel found out that his wife brought so much food down, so he's missing a mashu of his hamoin he was such a filthy rich person, so he had a stroke. He couldn't deal with it. And he was one of the real good old-fashioned misers. Chas v'shalom. You can't talk about these people, but the way we see it, in 10 days, it was done. I think in Rosh Hashanah when the story happened. 10 days later, Yom Kippur, he was done. As soon as it was done, Abigail sent a message, David, remember? And David married her. Abigail, she was the best wife he ever had. Abigail, what she did, she saved him from Ganem. And she had a son, kill him. David, in learning, was the biggest gain in the world, but for some reason, Ishbosheth from Shaul's Mishpacha, his name is Boisheth, because when he got inside the base medrash, and David got up, started speaking and learning Yishmak, they were Malikud, they were our chevra. David, when he got up, base medrash, knocking, in walks Ishbosheth, Adoni HaMelech, he got shot all wrong, and David turned colors. And this went on for years. Ishbosheth, he used to be Mavayish David B'Torah until Abigail's little boy grew up. And he had a boy, she had a boy, he was a masman. His name was Kalev Kilov. He looked just like David. And he had another name, Daniel. And he hove in learning in Belayla. He got a little bit older. And the next time Ishbosheth got up to put David down, little Kilov says, Ishbosheth unschuldig. My father's right. You got it all wrong. You don't know Pshat in the Gemara. And so Abigail came in handy. She was the greatest wife he ever. Anyway, but I'm just telling you the story. How David said, "There won't be." I'll repeat it. It's psukim. There won't be whoever knows. There won't be a mashtin bekir alive. Some people say it means a dog, and some people means a male. But the way he said it, David HaMelech, you mess with me, I'll wipe the floor with you. He was an Admoni. You know who he was? He had Esav's Tchunas. He held Meir B'Machas. Okay, that's one story with David. Then comes another story. When Shimon Megair is throwing rocks at him, and he's calling him Retzis. A Mamzer, a Tayeva, a Noyev, a Reitzeach. How's that? But Rabim, throwing rocks at him, cursing him when he's running away from his son Absalom. And the Olam wants to kill him. This is Russia. He's Meir B'Machas. David's right-hand men, his generals, Yoav, Abishai, I'll knock his head off. Oh, that dead dog, that's a lashon. And David said, don't you dare. Hashem Amalekal, leave him alone. The same David that's ready to wipe the floor, and the same, leave him alone. Don't touch him. And you have the same thing with Moshe. Saying, Ish Moshe Anam Yoid. And the same Moshe what? You take a look at the psukim. Rav Lachabene Levi, Eshor Mila Kachti. I'll take for the maybe said, don't be makabel. Okay, we're going to open up the ground right now. You're going to swallow you people up. You're dead. Hey, you got to see the psukim. He's on fire. Why is he getting? So first of all, one limud that we have to have is, not everybody's supposed to spend a life being a piece of butter. There's a makam to be tough. Aleph. Some people are super nice all over the place, and it's not. Okay, look, this dirt, you can't tell people to straighten out so fast. In Novandik, they address these things. They got a hold of me, and they told me, whatever it was wrong, you're going to go the other way. And each person, they told something else. You have to fix your tie. You're a slob. You think the world, you walk like a schlemazel. It's better for you. You have to make your own chedushim. They rather told that to me. That's where Bטחון weekly comes from. Your own chedushim you got to make. They told me that in Nevada. I needed that. Everybody needs a prescription. And everybody has, ideally, a side to him. That's the opposite. When I speak to people on the phone, someone called me today. And you never know what the guy really wants. And I sound like this. I don't know if you're interested in hearing this from me, but I'm ready to cry right now like a baby. You want to see me do it? I wouldn't do it. But that's how I feel. But you explain this. Do you want to hear that from me? Usually they say, not really. They say, you want to move on. All right, so I got to make a chayzik out of your whole peckle. I have two sides to me. I'm the same person that could cry like the world's turning over because I feel for you. And I can tell you, cut the garbage. There's nothing wrong with you. Stop looking for tzaras. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Right? Cut it out. I always say, I say this to myself too. So don't feel so bad. It's therapeutic. It pulled me out of the woods 100 times. I always do that. But anyway, a person has to have two sides. Now I want to say something else. This is Hafla of a fellow. The whole thing that's going on here is machlokes. Now I want to say something else. Moshe Rabbeinu was screaming, I don't see the machlokes over there so much. I see not being someach b'chalkai is fire. That's the main issue. The pinpoint, what was Moshe Rabbeinu was fire about. Rav Lachem b'nei Levi, you don't have enough? And there's a ruchnius. No kvetching about ruchnius. It's kvetching that Moshe couldn't tolerate. How could you kvetch? What are you kvetching for? You have this, you have that. Bikashtem gam kuna. You don't have this, you don't have that. We all do this. You want to walk away with something, Parshas Korach? Walk away with this. No more kvetching. We all kvetch, silent kvetches. We don't do it openly. But boy, everybody's got, I have such a battle. I was learning Musa before. I says, that's a Musa Seder. How many thank yous did you write down? 2, 3, that's not a Musa Seder. You're busy in your bטחון that you want this, bטחון I want that. You want. You're off the derech. Say thank you what you have. People, it's such a yetzer hara not to do that. Such a yetzer hara. And I'm from the good guys. You know who I am? You know how big I am? I met an Israeli yid today. I had schmooze with him. B'nai Braki yid, a sweetie. He was sitting and learning alone in Beis Medrash. I gave him shalom. Oh, mashalomcha. What's new? Yeah, he knew Yiddish, got it. And we chapped the schmooze together. And then before I said goodbye to him, he says, who are you? He says, my name is Mendel. I says, when you came into Lakewood, you saw those signs, Tzaddik Bali, that was me. He was on the floor. That's one of my favorites. Anyway. L'chaim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shakel midori. L'chaim. L'chaim. We should have Allah's gifts, have the Eibush that we got it all. Have some more, have Rabbi say. It comes from a bottle that says Rashke Bahag with my picture on it. So it's not Stam vodka. This is Rashke Bahag Bahit. Hey, Torah anytime. Excuse me, I want them to see Rabbi Yafi. Take a look. No? With my picture. With my picture. Who? This one? Yeah, Mazel Tov. Azayda. No, am I right? No? What's up there? Rabbi Galambek. Ebish is all alles gets. Well deserved. Look at that. You know, 8 o'clock, I was once on the phone with Shimshon Pincus in Eretz Yisrael, and he told me he just got an 8 o'clock. He was jumping up and down. There's nothing like an 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, you know what it is? The Eibishter created 8 o'clock. You know what it is? You know, I go to a certain place to pick up my Bטחון weeklies. So there's a courtyard over there, and there's a few kids over there hanging around. The cute kids, even though they're in-town kids, they're like out-of-town personalities. Little boobies, about that big each. You know, they're 2, 3, 4, you know, that age. Zadie! They're yelling at me, Zadie, where's Bobby? Tell him to come. Tell him to come. Tell him to come here too. They always do this every morning. I love them. They're so cute. I says, tell your mommy to eat you up now. You're so cute. They always yell at me. Zadie is here. I'm the official. Zadie, they got my number. You're one of those. Anyway, so I'm telling you, it's such a sweetness. The Abish's beautiful world. He creates Ein Mwah. They're all delicious. And Zadies are also ganz geschmackig too. I'm a pretty nice guy. Zadies give chocolates. Zadies? You know what a Zadie is? I'm from the better ones. I used to give rides on the show. I don't do that so much. They grew up, but I used to, what? Elders, yeah, I got it already. Now, I'll tell you the best part about Zadie. I hope you don't mind. Nobody should be upset with me. The best part about Zadies is the following. Now, you've been a father and a mother for many years. Sometimes the kids liked you. Sometimes the kids felt, Ma, I think you need to take a course in parenting. You don't really know how to deal with me. You don't understand me. You know, you ever see that? Okay, I'm joking. But the parents aren't always on the good list with the kids. You know that. So, and the kids are like, they're in charge, of course. Like the parents are busy comforting the kids all their lives. Don't turn them off. Make sure, are we good parents? You know, okay, anyway. And finally the kids grow up. And now there's 8 o'clock. Now I'm the good guy. You have to stay up with that baby who smells up the whole house. He's yours. And your job. Then the kids, I had enough of that with you guys, my children. Now you can do it with the kids. I'm the Mr. Good Guy around here who gives out the chocolate bars. And they all love the Zadies more than the parents. How can you compete with Zadies and Bubbies we're Mr. Good Guy. That's what I like about being a Zadie. I'm joking. Don't take me serious. Anyway, where are we up to? I'll tell you my sin. I was on the telephone with my Rebbe. I said, hello? This just happened. I heard my Rebbe screaming at me. I don't hear a word. I repeated, hello, you don't hear me? I don't hear a word. I don't hear. I know someone's calling me. I can't hear you. And this, I dialed twice. I decided, I got it all done. I dialed the third time. This I davened. Eibishter, please help, we should connect. As soon as I said that, it worked. You see that? Everything goes with the Eibishter, just like with flowers. Your wife doesn't like flowers. This guy was having trouble with his kids, speaking about Zadies. And he says, the kids are so sloppy. When they come, you know, Baruch HaTov B'vayacha, Baruch HaTov B'tzeisacha. You're so happy to see, oh, the Ein Klach here. And after Yom Tov is almost over, the Zadie and Bobby When are they leaving? When do they say they're leaving? Hope they leave soon before they wreck the house. You know, is there anything? They break that vase also? Oh no! Oh, you can't. We know the rules. We didn't say, oh hi, we love having you. You know, you have to play the, you have to play the game, and then when they leave, so this guy really had it hard, because when they left, the house was a storm. Are you certain? Come on. The house was a storm. It was schrecklich. Every time, here they come. And while they stayed, the storm worked up throughout the week. You're slipping all over the place. Oh, you guys are not clean. But you're not allowed to say anything. You have any brains. Rabbi Miller says, close your mouth and open your purse. That's what you got to learn how to do. I'm serious if you know what's good for you. Don't you dare say a word. Never, ever, ever. You don't criticize B'chlal. That's my shita. Never. No, I don't care. Not to your wife, not to nobody. Shah. Nobody. My chiddush is don't criticize yourself either. That's my life too. Anyway, but I want to tell you like this. That I told the guy, daven. This happened to two different daven. Just daven. Watch. The next time they came, they cleaned up the place. They're new people, b'chlal. They became neat. Did you hear this? You want to hear another story? I promise you. You want to know what remote control is? This guy has relatives. Kim Tzaran. He has relatives that they visit him, The 8 o'clock come flying. And they all come in. It used to look like this, a bunch of boys, a large family of boys. And they were nice, slim boys, geschmacke boys, nice kids. Now, what happened? Now, he didn't want to say anything. What happened to Moshe? He's double the size. What happened to Malki? Oh, no. Woo! How's she going to get a shitter? She looks gross. What happened to this? One after another. The whole family, boom, boom, with the tata mom included. What are they eating? What are they doing? And you're not supposed to say a word. Don't you dare. They're embarrassed enough. And they can, hello, Zaydeen, Bubby. Hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, hello. And they have to compliment too. Oh, they look great. They look great, Anyway, this guy is a true story. And the guy comes over to me. Look, it's not the end of the world, but it's not healthy. But really double the size. Not put on a little weight. They were one after another. Half the family gained weight like no one's business. I don't know what's going on there. The mother's really cooking good. To compete with such a bubby, you got to be, anyway. So I told him, the true story. I told him, daven. And watch what happens. I promise you it's a true story. The next time they visited, which every half a year they visit, 1.5 was already like this. And the next time it was done, including the parents. Decide whatever they want on a diet. That's it. It's not easy life. Daven. If you believe that davening's like my pens. These are the pens that got out of ink. Right here, and I'm trying, it's not working. It says, Eibishter, I need ink. Pick it up. It works like I just bought it. This happened to me a few times. Not always, but it happens a lot. Daven to the Eibishter. Okay, next. Okay, now I want to tell you something. A boy in my class was a 9-year-old kid. This happened years ago. This taka happened years ago. This one of the few stories that taka happened. Happened years ago, about 7 years ago. He was watching. The kid comes over to me, a 9-year-old kid. Rebbe, there's a teenager that davens in my shul. We're starting with the questions. A teenager. He comes over to me, and he tells me, no. And I'm watching the kid, and he takes your B'tachon weeklies, and he goes over it cover to cover, and he looks stressed. A 9-year-old kid told this to me. He looks very stressed. And I watch him every Shabbos, and he spends the whole Shabbos going through your B'tachon weeklies. I promise you, Rebbe, after 4 months, he's a different person. He's a happy face. There's somebody in my Kahila, a younger kid, he's a different person. He used to be like this, now I've met a lot of big, I don't want to say the names, world famous big names. They call me up, by the way. I have somebody, got thousands of people listening to him. I hope he's not listening to this one. He called me up. He knows color Kula except what I know. That he doesn't know that. You know the story of swimology, I told you? The native was in a canoe in Africa together with the professor. And the professor kept, and the native is going, there's some crocodiles in the middle, but they're safe. And suddenly the professor says, have you ever heard of philosophy? No, sir. Have you ever heard of botany? No, sir. Oh, then half your life, then a quarter of your life isn't worth it. Have you ever heard of psychology? No, sir. Oh, 3/4 of your life is worthless. The next minute, the thing it turns over, the boat, and you better know how to swim. And the native yells to the professor, Professor, have you ever heard of swimology? He said, no, then your whole life is gone. So I kind of like this. You know, I'm very happy. Shas, Paiskim, this man knows everything. But simple stuff that I'm into. Moshe Rabbeinu is screaming, Anshe Shem, Kriyei Moye, these people are Knacks, leaders. They know everything. Goyim, Tzadikim, Ruach HaKodesh. But Sameach B'chalkai, that sugya of Bטחון, they weren't into that sugya. You hear what I'm saying? There's a Maisa that happened in Rav Siegel from Chaim Berlin. Someone came to him, father came to him and says, I want my son to be coming to Yom Sifta. I want him to vaxate the God will be Yisrael. So he says, look, I don't know what he's going to vaxate, Rav Siegel. Rav Hutner's top told me that. He said, I don't know, but he's going to become a happy, a tzafrid and a mensch. That doesn't mean much to you, huh? If you don't have that, your body's going to rebel. Not only that, the earth will open up and swallow you, chas v'shalom. You got to learn to be satisfied in ruchnius. This is ruchnius. I want this, I want that, I want that. Bug off. Let him have his shas. I like whatever I'm doing. Let him have, he's Bucky, good, I'm Ian. But he's covering so much ground, good, I like me. Or the other way, right? This guy, he knows how to learn, good. But I move, I like me. Or whatever it is, you gotta like me. I work, but I work on myself on the job, and I'm nizzer in certain things. I machshav that. I know it's very good in Beis Medrash, but I got my thing. And the Ben Tairu sitting Beis Medrash, you got some millionaire, don't you? Giving. I enjoy my Tosfos. Every person has to be Sameach B'chalkai. And that's a burning issue. Moshe Rabbeinu was steaming on that. Sameach B'chalkai, you better learn how to do that. Because if not, you're going to make a Chorban Beis HaMikdash. Moshe Rabbeinu's words was just a preview. He was fuming. But Chora Ma'oid, it's a sharp Lashon, Peri should say Moshe Rabbeinu. By the way, the Vilna Gaon says, the reason for Chorban Bayis Sheni was Sinas Chinam. What's Sinas Chinam? No Bטחון. What's no Bטחון, says the Gaon? You're not Sameach B'chalkai. Al Tzaris. Beisa, you got to sit on that. Sameach B'chalkai is hard work. I try to tell somebody on the phone, I'm going to at least say a barab because I don't believe that person heard a word I said. The person wanted one thing, Mendel, just give me that bracha and leave me alone with your philosophy. So I'm going to use the philosophy here because I'm not going to, once they call me up, people with issues they never have. Some of them, you could taka cry. Oh. But I said like this, we came to this world to work on our midos. More important than nachas and shmachas and success and steigen, none of that stuff. Steigen being a sameach b'chalkai. So you learn one blot less, but you spend more time writing down why you're luckier than everyone else around you. I don't care what you're doing. I hold what I'm doing is gewaldig. But it's not so kosher, not so... Don't give me this garbage. It's all the Yitzhara. Anything to get you depressed. He'll do anything. Where are we up to? No, when are you giving me the 5 more minutes? Nachapar drushes? Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to tell you some stories. I just heard this story about Reb Gershon. Reb Gershon Lieberman. Reb Gershon Lieberman. Reb Gershon Lieberman Zatzal. I just his an anacle of Novandig. He was here by me. Binyamin Schwartz was the older brother of Reb Oizer Schwartz. They said on him, he was one of Reb Gershon's top Talmidim. Here comes the story. Nervoy. He went a bacha, he screamed out a bacha, Reb Gershon. Screamed at him. And the bacha said, screamed at the bacha, and the bacha went to sleep. He said, Krishma, in the middle of the night, bang, bang on the door. Slicha, asiti cheshbon hanefesh, lo hayiti tzodek. I made a cheshbon hanefesh. I should not have hit you. The man, that bacha, went to sleep. He's 80 years old today. He can never forget that. Reb Gershon knocked on his door in the middle of the night to tell him, I'm asking you mechila, that I yelled at you in public. Now, here comes another one. I heard this. This I heard from somebody. This one I heard from the one it happened to. He went over to another bacha who was a wild Indian, and he smacked him across the face. And the next day, he got together a whole group of chevra to make a vad, to make a shmuz. In the shmuz, he said, Rabotai, kol halayla, hayali ke'ivim ala yad sheli. All night long, I had terrible pain. But I know why. Because I smacked that boy. Hashem punished me for smacking. The boy told it to me. He was a wild guy. He wasn't quite so yeshivish, you know. Now he has a job. He's a very wonderful fellow. But those days he needed, and the next day Reb Gershon says, Hashem punished me. He couldn't forget it. He loves Reb Gershon. I got a third story. Somebody ran away from yeshiva. And he went home. Because somebody rubbed him wrong. And it's a little sakanadik. They'll go off the derech, these chevra. And Reb Gershon made a special trip to the house. And they knocked on the door and he fell by the doorstep and he fell down to the floor. And he said, Bati lish'ol mechila. The guy came back. I had an issue here in Lakewood. There was a certain parent that all the Rabbeim knew, don't start up with that guy. He was a tough guy. And all the Rabbeim suffered from him. And sure enough, I got into trouble. I did something, this is a big educator who knows better than all the Rebbes, and you don't start up with him. And the Menayalim told me how much aggravation. He's one of these tough guys, you know. Because I asked what to do. Novandig, they says, go down to the house and say, yes, mechila. Don't on the telephone. Hachna. Go down and show. And by Novandigas were always asking mechila. With such edelkeit, I'm sorry. And they meant it. It wasn't lip service. They asked mechila. The power I once had.
This guy sounds like a guy you should fight on.
Who? Who's that?
This guy you should ask mechila. You're like too stuck with him. You're like Valter or something.
I don't know.
You're
feeding into his sickness. You're
what?
feeding into his sickness.
Yeah, you're scared of him. You do it because you're scared of him. Okay, this guy you shouldn't have mechila. You do it because you're scared
Now,
of him.
these people are not scared of nobody. When they ask him mechila, they're working on the midas. I come first. They don't care with the guy. I need to work on my midas. They held hachna. They didn't do it because they fopped these guys on like no one's business. They weren't scared of anybody. See, I want to bring this out. The same Moshe Rabbeinu, Ish Moshe Ana Ma'id. The same David HaMelech, Hashem HaMelekal. Don't touch him. They had it in them. Oh, these were tough people, but they held. Now, I once had a physical issue, and I asked my Rebbe what to do. He said, no. And I worked on it. He told me exactly what to do. You are missing in this. I'm achne, I'm a good guy, but certain parts of achno, it's a big sugya. I needed help. I worked on it, and boom, the physical issue disappeared.
I was asking which one comes first. You were scared of the parents.
Every person is different. They will take the same different people and say, you need more achno, you need more stolz, you need more this. Everybody's different. And hopefully will balance you out. Okay.